don't do this and you will be twice as productive as most entrepreneurs. And I don't say this lightly, and it might even be 3, 4 times more productive than most entrepreneurs and investors. It is one of the things that used to be a pet peeve, or the thing that I used to get annoyed the most about as a coach and as a business owner, and until I got more experience. You might have heard this quote, showing up is half the battle. And here's the problem. Most people actually don't show up regularly or consistently enough, whether that is in meetings or for scheduled appointments or to do their work or to show up for their family or to show up consistently to do things like this. For me, this is useful for my business. Most people don't do this consistently enough. And this is why people say showing up is half the battle. It's not, and most people are obsessed with how am I going to do this? How can I do this better? If you don't show up, you don't have enough experience. So you haven't learned enough from your mistakes. So you don't know what to do. And I can tell you pretty much every week I get a message, and these are scheduled appointments with people who have requested to book a call with me, whether it's for coaching purposes or business mentoring or whatever it might be. And almost pretty much every week I'll get a call, hey, I can't make it for this call. I have to reschedule, or they won't show up at all and I won't have any kind of response. And I'll send a message to them, and almost always, I forgot it, or I didn't see it on my calendar, or I didn't see it in my email. And it shows to me one of two things. One, you're all over the place. You're very reactionary with your time, and you're just jumping from one thing to another. And most entrepreneurs operate like that. Most investors operate like that. And that's the norm. I used to think that was just a few people like that, but that's the norm. Now, mind you, this is not a judgment in the sense that it hasn't happened to me. It has. Once in a while, I will drop the ball. There have been 1 or 2 calls over the past maybe 5 years, 6 years that I've completely forgotten, or something has happened, life has happened, lots of things, or an emergency has happened. Fully understand all that stuff. But the challenge is the consistency of it. It's not that you can't drop the ball on a meeting, or to not do something, or to not show up for somebody in your life, or something like that. It's not that. It's that how can we improve the frequency of that? So take an assessment of that right now. When was the last time you dropped a call, you didn't show up for a call, or you had to reschedule consistently, or you are jumping in from one thing to another? And it might not even be professional. It might be that you keep promising your family, your spouse, or your kids that I'm going to play with you, or I'm going to be there, or we're going to go on a vacation, or we're going to do something, but it's never happening. And here's the inherent problem. The inherent problem is that it creates mistrust. It breaks down trust for people. And even though trust is not binary in the sense that you either have trust or don't, you have degrees of trust in different people in your life, including yourself. So when you start to break down that trust in your personal life, what that means is that people don't want to be close to you anymore. They don't feel like you value them. They don't feel like you care about them. And that's a huge problem in any of your relationships. And then the other side of it on business is a credibility thing. You might have heard the quote, in business, your credibility precedes you. People know you based on your reputation and credibility. If your reputation is of somebody who is not consistent, who doesn't show up, who misses meetings, or who people have to chase, or who's reactionary, those are not good reputations to have. It's going to harm you in the business sense. And so if you really want to be productive, the first thing you can do is, no matter how unprepared you are, no matter what's happening, make sure you show up. And I'm not kidding. Like that, it's such a weird thing for me because, for example, if somebody books a call on my calendar, they get 2, 3 notifications through their email, and they will also get notification through text messages. It's come to a point where I will actually get my team members, or I will send a manual message as well to confirm that they're showing up for the appointment. And it boggles my mind. And I've worked with a lot of people in this area, and many people don't have calendar systems. So they rely on their memory or some written thing somewhere that will remind them, and they don't have a system for it. So no wonder they won't show up for the appointment. No wonder they won't do something. Or if they put it on the calendar, they're so reactionary in their day that they won't actually be able to show up, or they will reschedule it, or they will consistently reschedule it. Pretty soon, their reputation becomes a problem for them and for their business. And the other side of it is that they're not strategic enough. They don't think long term. They don't think how to put certain things on their calendar. And I recently was working with a potential client, and one of the things he does is he overbooks his calendar. So when he gets exhausted, he will reschedule or he won't do the things that he needs to. Now, we all have done that. I'm not saying that you will never do that, but if you pay attention to your calendar, if you pay attention to whatever your organization system is, and you look at it and you're overbooked all the time and you're not showing up for the people you're meant to be showing up, whether those are your clients, your family, or whoever it is, then you are operating in the world of reaction, not in the world of strategy, not in the world of movement forward. So my encouragement to you is to start looking at your calendar. If you don't have some kind of tracking or calendar system, build one and start analyzing what's happening. Take about 30 minutes or 20 minutes or even 15 minutes every day. Take a look at what happened throughout the day. What did you move around? Did you actually honestly put the block time that you had for that specific thing, or you just pretended that was the thing that you used? One of the practices I have at the end of the day, I'll look at the block times, or I actually do that a couple of times a day where I'll be like, yeah, I blocked it off for this thing, but I couldn't actually do this. So that helps me learn that, hey, this is how my mind operates. I need to do better. And the more I've done this, the more I've realized how my mind works. So I adjust my time that way and then energy that way. Same thing by the end of the week. All the time, you should be tracking all your time. Where is it going? Whether it's on the personal side or business side, look at it, look at your calendar. And the way I help my clients understand this is your calendar is a snapshot of your life. If you're running a business or multiple businesses, you have a household, you have family, you have lots of things happening, it needs to be on the calendar. It needs to be somewhere where you can visually see. It needs to be somewhere where you can track the data. Why? Because if you don't have data, your mind is going to lie to you. Trust me, it's going to lie to you. You're going to think that you spent a lot of time being very productive, but more than likely you're just busy. And busyness does not equal being productive. That's one of the biggest lies in the modern times. You should be spending at least half an hour to 1 hour looking at your calendar, where your time is going. And as you do this more, you're going to get more efficient at this every day. But at the end of the day, you should be looking at it. Your plans should be laid out for the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, at least on your calendar with details. If you don't have that, then you don't understand how to build strategic plans. That doesn't mean things can't change or things can't move around. It just means that you're giving yourself the space to think and anticipate and be strategic. That is hard to do. And this is why Maxwell, one of the leaders I follow, who said that the hardest skill set is the skill set to think. And that's what thinking is. Not the chatter in your mind, the thoughts that run in your mind obsessively, consistently, that distracts you all the time. It's actually the ability to think and anticipate. That's what makes humans actually human. Because if you look at the history of human beings, one of the most powerful skill sets we have is the ability to look ahead and not react to what's happening. So, for example, when there was famine that's coming up into a community, or there were crops that were being harvested, we thought about, well, when is there going to be drought or famine or something like that? So we gave people less food so they can survive. And that's what helped us increase the amount of people in a given place. And when there was abundance, we stored food so we can use it for later. It's the same thing applies to you personally as well. Are you anticipating what's happening with your finances, your business, with your leads, with your marketing, all that stuff? Again, you do not need to be perfect. I'm not perfect. I struggle with this area a lot, but are you working on improving this area? And if you're not productive, I guarantee you that you're reactionary at best. Reactionary means that you're reacting to your hindbrain emotional system. Emotions are great for connecting, for being there for people, for feeling like a human being, but it's not great for thinking. It's not great for helping you be strategic. So yes, it has its own place, but if you don't have a process strategy and you don't have a way of analyzing data, you're probably struggling in the world of productivity. So stop not showing up. That's my biggest thing here. I hope this was helpful. I invite you to show up for my workshop that's on the 31st. We're going to cover some of these things much more detail. I'm going to walk you through your life for 3 hours that we're going to be on that workshop. It's completely free to you. It's going to be other investors, entrepreneurs. It'll give you a chance to network with them as well, because I give you opportunity for that too. You're going to find the link for this in the post below, where you can register. I purposely keep it limited to a few people because I want to encourage interaction and understanding of how other people operate, how other business owners operate, and how do they do things better as business owners and as investors. So make sure you show up because it's going to serve you a lot. It's going to be on Thursday, 31st of October at 9 a.m. Eastern, 3-hour workshop. It's not just going to be me training. I'm going to be walking you through a process to give you some tools and strategies and systems for you to track your productivity well, and for you to understand the mindset behind how to be as productive as the top 15% of the world's highest performers. And that's based on a process and research and data that has been tested over and over. And I've been walking my clients through this for the past 10 years, a decade. So make sure you show up to that. You're going to get a lot of value. We're coming up to the end of the year. You want to become, this is the time to push so you can get your projects and all sorts of things done. But also it gives you an idea of how you can plan out the next 5 years, 10 years better, how you can look at the important parts of your life and not drop the ball and not regret creating what you really want to create in your personal life and your business over the course of the next 5 to 10 years. Because a lot of people end up with regret when they don't do this work. Excited to see you on Thursday, October 31st at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you've done that's helped you be productive? Have you run into this thing where people don't show up or people miss meetings or they're reactionary? Please share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear from you because I bet it's not just my experience. Until then, hope you have an incredible day. Bye.